Now, how do you practice social distancing, right? That's something we all should be practicing right now, immediately, and I'd say probably nationally. But for now, this is absolutely in the guidelines for New York City. So, stay home as much as possible, no-brainer. Create more physical space between yourself and others. Not so easy in New York in certain situations, but you'll find it easier today as a lot of people are doing the right thing and staying home. So I'm walking around with my hands in my pockets, and I'm staying 6 feet away from people. That's the distance you want to be in general, whenever possible. Do not gather in large crowds. That goes without saying. Work from home if possible. I've already mentioned that. Avoid non-essential travel, obvi, and avoid all non-essential social interactions. So don't worry, we can do all the non-essential social interactions on social media. So just do those. But no, now is not the time for me to get together in person with anybody. But you know me, I'm happy to meet you virtually. And the guidelines that came out via the White House and the CDC on a national basis are fairly similar. Work and engage in schooling from home whenever possible, and avoid social gatherings of more than 10 people. That's a new number and an explicit number set, so you don't want to be anywhere with more than 10 people. I would say at this point you shouldn't be anywhere with any more than the number of people you already live with. That's about it. Avoid eating, drinking at bars, restaurants, food courts, and avoid discretionary travel and hygiene. So that all seems fairly straightforward, but another metric is make sure on a national basis you're not in a group of more than 10 people. Okay, lastly, a general comment from me. So if you are, what we've got to do is protect the people who are really at risk from this. Most of us are not at risk, and a lot of the stress you're feeling, and boy, has it been stressful, is you're hearing a lot of what will be very tough decisions made in hospitals, possibly, if they get overwhelmed, okay? And that is a situation which is leading to fear among doctors and other medical professionals about the ability to provide care. If we had all the equipment in the world, it wouldn't be an issue. But as somebody pointed out on a meme that was going around, the way you saw people fighting over bread and toilet paper over the last 2 weeks, now imagine that same thing happening over ICU beds and ventilators. Now, of course, there would never be conflict like that, but decisions are going to have to be made if the hospital system is overwhelmed. So, if you are over 80 years old, or you have a friend or a relative over 80 years old, they are to stay at home, period, end of story. Either stay in their apartment or stay on their property if they live in a home on land. They should stay at home. Things should be brought to them as much as possible, and interactions with others really should be minimized, especially touching, good hand hygiene. These are the people who will have terrible outcomes. And also, and I'm going to be really blunt here, if the hospital system gets overwhelmed and if a decision needs to be made at some point that there is one ventilator and there are 2 patients and they have to make a very difficult choice, God help them, between a 50-year-old with 18-year-old twins and a 85-year-old man, they may have to make some very difficult decisions. So we want to make sure to protect our 80-year-olds, both from taking up hospital beds as well as being in the ICU, or, God forbid, being part of one of these terrible decisions should they have to be made. Okay, so you are really doing a good thing for yourself, your country, your relatives, your grandparents, that old nice guy you say hi to every morning, or the nice older lady at church that you see all the time. Those are the people that you're socially distancing to help. As somebody said, your grandparents were asked to storm Normandy, we're being asked to sit on our couches. That's not so bad. We may find out that we all really like it. Anyway, God bless, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, and more to come. Let me know if you have any questions. Send them in a DM or write them in a response below this video. Talk to you soon. Be well. And since you watched the video all the way to the end, I just want to wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. It was the only green thing I had. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing green. And a happy birthday to my nephew, Stephen Kane, and to Ruth Cluins, my dearest friend. Okay, love to all. Be safe. Wash your hands. Until next time.